Alright class, settle down and let me tell you a story. With the Song of Ice and Fire miniature as my main system, it sort of dawned on me that I have yet to actually cover a Game of Thrones related vid because I always thought that the whole thing was a little bit too fleshed out. But it has been more than 5 years since its last episode was aired in 2019. So I thought might as well make a retrospective out of it. But before we do, please like, share, subscribe. Do the whole notification button thing to help me out with the algo, and here we go. Alright, coming off with one of my worst tourney outings in my tabletop wargaming career. I sort of, definitely needed a break or definitely needed this. I'm definitely going for a D&D sesh this weekend because I can't take it, alright? 4 bad straight losses, crushing defeats. I could come up with all the excuses I have in the world, but then again, Ned Stark said to Jaime Lannister, is that what you tell yourself at night? You know what, why don't we just get to this one before I go off on an entire tangent on how I'm supposed to win or how the whole thing could have been prevented. I could have had more practice time, I could have gotten more sleep, but you know what, I had to work, blah, 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 blah. You know what, fine, let's go. Every northern house from Game of Thrones explained. Yeah.
House Stark is one of the great houses of Westeros and the principal... House Stark is one of the great houses of Westeros and the principal noble house of the North. In days of old, they ruled as kings of winter, but since Aegon's conquest, they have been wardens of the North and ruled as lords of Winterfell. Their seat is an ancient castle renowned for its strength and size. The Starks are an ancient house of first men descent.
Yep.
House Stark was founded by Brandon the Builder, a legendary figure who lived during the Age of Heroes. The Starks were kings of winter in the North for 8,000 years. The Night's King, the 13th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, has been suggested to have been a Stark. The Night's King is said to have been defeated.
The Starks have always been the biggest proponents of the Night's Watch, and if we remember, oh, hey Blackhawks, what's up? And if we remember, whatchamacallit, that episode from, how the House of the Dragon, when a Stark volunteer was at the wall entertaining, one of the Targaryens, he said, they have a lottery that 1 out of every 10 men must proceed to the wall and serve. It's not a curse, but it's a duty, but it's a privilege to serve under the wall. Anyways, keep on going.
By Brandon the Breaker and Joramun. Their sigil is a grey dire wolf racing across a field of white. Their words are winter is coming, a grim warning, not a boast, and one of the few mottos that speaks not of pride, but of preparation.
In the book, it was, Lady Stoneheart, formerly known as the wife of Ned Stark, who said that unlike, other houses that, ours is the fury as high as honor, that basically boast of their house's honor, courage, or wealth, whatever. Only the North or only the Starks provide a warning as their sigil. Winter is coming. Although it's pretty badass that your sigil or your family motto is a warning that, something bad is coming, or it could stand as that you're coming and therefore, you should all prepare, you should all watch out because the North is coming or the Starks are coming. Winter is coming.
Aside from the Karstarks of Karhold, the Starks may have other distant relatives in the North.
They probably do.
The Starks have a reputation for long faces, brown hair, and gray eyes. Generally, there are 2 types of Starks, ones with melancholy and iciness, and others with a wildness, sometimes regarded as
according to the book, if I remember correctly, the children, Ned Stark's children have been provided with tali coloring. So, only Jon Snow was considered to have the actual North in him, whereas the rest look like talis. From Robb Stark down to the girls.
Blood. In the current generation of Starks, several members have the ability to enter the minds of their...
See, only supposedly Jon Snow looked like an actual Stark. The rest were under Tully coloring.
dire wolf pets as wargs, giving them the ability to experience the senses of their dire wolves and to see through their eyes. House Stark traditionally follows the old gods. Following the marriage of Eddard to Lady Catelyn Tully, a follower of the Faith of the Seven, a small sept was constructed at Winterfell.
So, check this out, right? There was this theory that one of the reasons why the Starks were so helpless down south or out of their own elements when they're not in the north is for the simple reason that they don't have the influence. And the only way that you could actually garner influence is by following the seventh. You needed knights. But the problem is the Starks didn't have knights, they only had men-at-arms. They had loyal men-at-arms, that they had knights who followed them, that pledged their service or their allegiance to Stark. What was the name of their master-at-arms? I forgot, sir, something. The one with the weird beard, the mutton chops. But anyways, in order for a family or for a house to spread their influence, they need knights. But the problem is the only way to make knights or create knights is faith and loyalty to the seven. But the problem is the Starks follow the old gods. So they definitely don't have that.
The Starks hold the belief that there must always be a Stark in Winterfell.
Yep.
When the head of the house is away, the Stark remaining in the castle to rule the north is referred to as the Stark in Winterfell. House Karstark of Karhold is a noble house in the north. They were founded as a branch of their overlords, the Starks of Winterfell, and are among their principal bannermen. The Karstark blazon is a white sunburst on black, and their motto is the Son of Winter. Karstarks are big, fierce men, bearded and long-haired, with brown hair and blue-gray eyes. Karstarks and their men wear thick cloaks made of the pelts of seals, bears, and wolves, or black woolen cloaks patterned with a white sunburst. Karstark soldiers wear black...
Very primitive, no? Then again, it speaks of their coloring as the descendants of the first men. Because when the Andals came, it was only the north that remained under the control of the first men, ergo Kings of Winter, the Starks. Because the Andals simply couldn't take them, simply couldn't cross that bridge. It wasn't until Aegon the Conqueror came in and, intimidated the current Stark leader to bend the knee or else burn in the field of fire. But you know what? Their clothes being made of leather or being made of animal leather in general speaks of their being descendants of the first men.
Iron half-helms, mail hauberks or shirts of sewn rings, and heavy boots. The Karstarks descend from Carlin Stark, a younger son of Winterfell. Possibly around the year 700 before conquest, Carlin put down a rebel lord and was granted lands for his valor. The castle he built near the Grey Cliffs was named Carl's Hold, but that soon became Karhold, and over the centuries the Karhold Starks became Karstark.
So, my lord. Remember that conversation between Arya and Tywin Lannister?
House Bolton is a noble house from the Dreadfort in the north.
The rebels.
They are an old line descended from the first man and dating back to the Age of Heroes. The Bolton sigil is a red flayed man, on pale pink spotted with red blood drops.
I always thought that man was upside down.
Words are blades are
always been described as being upside down.
Are sharp. The Boltons are an ancient and powerful house of the north who once ruled as Red Kings from the Dreadfort, with their land reaching from the Last River and the White Knife to the Sheep's Head Hills. Their cruelty has echoed through the centuries. Legend.
They were known for it, and all that trauma had to be passed down from father to son.
Say they flayed their enemies alive and hung the skins in their halls. Some even whisper that the Night's King himself may have been a Bolton. After the long night, the Red Kings were bitter rivals of the Kings of Winter.
Look at that armor. Very expensive. Very Simon Soef, Song of Ice and Fire miniature.
The Starks. According to rumor, some Boltons wore the flayed skins of Stark princes and lords, such as the son of Bael the Bard, as cloaks during the Age of Heroes. The last Red King, Roger the Huntsman, submitted to Starks when the coming of the Andals to Westeros was beginning. King Theon Stark, the Hungry Volf, and the Boltons defeated Argos 7-Star and his Andals in the Battle of the Weeping Water.
There we go.
Thousands of years ago, the Dreadfort rose in an unsuccessful rebellion with the Grey Starks of the Volf's Den against the Starks. The Boltons survived the rebellion, although the Grey Starks did not. Boltons bent their knees to Starks and agreed to abandon their practice of flaying. House Manderley is a noble family in the north whose seat is the new castle in the city of White Harbor. Their sigil is a white merman with dark green hair, beard, and tail, carrying a black trident over a blue-green field. The Lord of White Harbor, Wyman Manderley, claims to influence all lands and
I always thought they ruled Old Town or something.
Houses east of the mouth of the White Knife, including Houses Locke.
So this is the neck. It all ends somewhere over here. Moat Caitlin. There we go. Moat Caitlin. So from here onward, if you can see the mouse upward, it's all north. This is the gift. These lands are owned. We're gifted to the Night's Watch, and there we have the wall. So from here up until here is Stark territory. Okay, got it. Bear Island.
Field and Flint of Widow's Watch. The Manderley's dominion includes the Sheep's Head Hills and the Broken Branch, as well as the allegiance of Ramsgate. The Manderleys are an ancient line who once lived along the banks of the mighty River Mander in the Kingdom of the Reach. They held the castle of Dunstonbury as their seat and had a fierce rivalry with House Peak. At some point, House Manderley overreached itself and was driven from the Reach by the Gardeners. Bringing their wealth with them, the Manderleys fled to the north, where they were welcomed by the Starks of Winterfell as their own bannermen. The Starks awarded the Volf's
because
Den to the...
based on their coloring, based on their looks, they didn't... I'm not really sure if you guys could hear that, but there's someone riding through with an open pipe or something. Because based on their coloring alone, these guys definitely weren't Northmen, or definitely did not descend from the first men. These guys are definitely Andal.
The Manderleys and tasked them with defending the White Knife in return for swearing an oath that they would always be loyal subjects of House Stark. This history instilled the Manderleys with great loyalty to their new liege lords. House Mormont of Bear Island is a noble house of the north, one of the principal families sworn to the Starks. Their seat is at Bear Island, located in the Bay of Ice. Their sigil is a black bear over a green wood, and their motto is Here We Stand. House Mormont is one of the few houses to have an ancestral weapon of Valyrian steel, a bastard sword called Longclaw. However, due to Bear Island's lack of valuable resources, the Mormonts are a rather poor house. Their hall is made of
poor but honorable. Wonder what's the history between how they got Longclaw.
Huge logs surrounded by an earthen palisade. On the gate is a carving of a woman in a bearskin with a child in one arm suckling at her breast and a battle axe in the other. The Mormonts are an old house with a proud and honorable...
I think this one came from, Song of Ice and Fire miniature. This visual came from that game.
...reputation. According to Northern histories, Roderick Stark, a king in the north, gave Bear Island to the Mormonts after winning the isle in a wrestling match from a driftwood king of the Ironburn. Skeptical scholars think it more likely the rival kings wrestled with words. House Umber is a noble house from the last hearth in the north.
Big John Umber.
Umbers once ruled as kings of first men. Eventually, the Umbers were reduced to vassals of House Stark, the kings of winter. The Umber sigil is a brown-haired roaring giant wearing a skin with broken silver chains on flame red. Umbers can be huge and boisterous. Although the Umbers do not...
So there's a possibility that they have giant's blood within them. I mean, Harry Potter... I mean, it's called... Is crossbreeding a thing? Intermingling between humans and giants a thing? I mean, that's not a far off possibility. Supposedly had stuff thing with one of the wildling leaders supposedly had a thing with the bear.
Roose Bolton claims they still practice the tradition of the Lord's right to the first night, which was banned during the reign of King Jaehaerys Targaryen.
Yep.
The Umbers control land along the Bay of Seals, south of the New Gift and
they practice the tradition of the first night, so I'm guessing that's the equivalent of the Braveheart Prima Nocta, where the lords of the land get first crack at the newly married lady on her wedding night instead of her husband.
Extending west to the King's Road. Their lands include the northern Last River and the Lonely Hills. Most of their land is east of the King's Road, but the Umbers graze their sheep.
So this is the last hearth. Basically, if I remember correctly, this is it. Before this one, it's basically, it stretches upward wilderness until you reach the gift, which now belongs to the Night's Watch, and that's it. It's wilderness from here up until the wall, from the last hearth.
In the high meadows of the northern mountains in summer. House Glover of Deepwood Mont is a noble house from the north and is among the principal houses sworn to the Starks of Winterfell. Houses Bowl, Branch, Forrester, and Woods of the Wolf's Wood are sworn to the Glovers. Their sigil is a silver mailed fist on scarlet.
Of course.
Their words are not mentioned in the books. The Glovers ruled as first men kings after the Long Night, but they were eventually reduced to vassals by the kings of Winter from House Stark. House Tallhart of Torrens Square is a noble house from the north and is among the principal houses sworn to House Stark. Sir Helman Tallhart is the master of Torrens Square, which is located southwest of Winterfell. Their arms show 3 green sentinel trees over a brown field. The words of the house are proud and free. House Reed of Greywater Watch is a noble house from Greywater Watch.
Among all the houses, I believe they have one of the most interesting backstories.
And one of the principal families in the north. They rule the Crannogmen, small men who live in the swamps and
marshes. And they're only one of the few units that has poison.
Marshes of the Neck. Their arms are a black lizard lion on gray-green.
Of course. The
Reeds descend from the first men. The Reeds first swore their oaths of fealty to House Stark when the Starks were kings in the north, thousands of years ago. House Reed has led the Crannogmen of the Neck since the defeat of the Marsh Kings by the Starks. Houses Blackmire, Boggs, Crad, and Peat are noble Crannogmen who live in the Neck. There are not many things known about them, not even their sigils or words.
Thank you for watching, guys. So if you want me to check out other stories here on YouTube, please let me know in the comments. We upload on the weekends, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Also, check out our Twitch channel where you can watch me do this live. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do the whole notification button thing to help me out with the algo, and class dismissed.